My first visit to Albania was just after the dictator Enver Hoxha had died. And there's a museum which is opened in Tirana now, and it records the huge number of people who were killed, who were punished for quite trivial offences. Between 34,000 people were jailed, 5,000 people odd executed, in a population which was barely 1 million people. Huge numbers were sent to labour camps inside the country, and those who were caught trying to sneak abroad were punished with 20, 30 years in prison. So many of the leading politicians were executed, committed suicide, died under curious circumstances. Anyway, there's now a big museum called bunk'art, which is situated under one of the ministries in the centre of Tirana, and it's converted one of the main government bunkers into a museum, so that people can go there and they can see just how completely vacuous faults could be so badly punished. And of course, you've then got to compare that to the sort of punishment that people are getting when they come to the UK, being pushed into tents, being kept in limbo for so long, being treated like cattle, being dehumanized, denamed, vilified on the street simply for being Albanian. And they've been through it all before. I think, we in the West need to, in the UK, we need to look at this nation and think, this is a nation that has suffered, and we're imposing more suffering on it. On what grounds? And the Prime Minister there invited the British government to help and to contribute to a solution. Instead, Suella Braverman has her own solution, because Suella Braverman always has her own solutions. And yet, at the same time, we know she doesn't read her briefings. We know she doesn't do her work. So her solutions don't work. She's all about signalling and about staying online with her ideology. But in the end, it's all about her. It's not about responding to the needs of other people. I'll come back to this museum in a few days' time, because I think it's interesting and I think it sums up a great deal. But in the meantime, the focus here is on Braverman, on the Foreign Office, and on our inadequacy in dealing with a people that has really suffered enough. If we had suffered anything like that, we would be belly aching to the middle of the next century.